This is not an assault, and in any case, I don't even care. It's not an assault on anybody, but I'm simply saying, on the day when we started debating Bill 10, Honorable Jack Mwimbu, Member of Parliament for Monze, raised a point of order through the Speaker to deal with the issue of social distancing, and I want the Zambians to be reminded, social distancing vis-a-vis COVID-19. What do you call it? The ruling was reserved. On and on of people saying one and the same thing. Why wasn't the question put? We went into day 2, and they didn't know that some of us had something up our sleeve. Deepak Patel had gone to court. We saw how Malozo Sichoni, a member of parliament for Isoka, or Mafinga, I'm not sure, raises on the same point of order. And I want Zambians to understand that the regulations of parliament do not admit a point of order on a point of order. There was still a ruling that was pending for Jack Mwimbu's point of order on the same issue of COVID. The debate did not stop there because the anticipation of PF was that maybe one member had sold out to give them the much desired, the unforeseen, what they can't see now, 2/3 majority. The debate was allowed to go on. It was 15 minutes later that I, on the behalf of the Zambian people in general, and the Mazabuka people in particular, rose and made the Speaker aware about the presence of a court matter about public borrowing, which was an integral part of Bill 10. At that point, Parliament adjourned, and it adjourned and adjourned and adjourned. And when we came back up to this moment, that's why I'm very careful how I deal with the issue of the proceedings of Parliament. Today, I don't want to touch the proceedings of Parliament because in as far as I'm concerned, I wrote a letter to complain to Mr. Speaker about Mr. Given Luvinda's behavior of continuously dealing with this bill that was in public, and also that had not been gazetted. Remember, it was gazetted just a few days ago. Before the gazetting of that, we saw how this special skills backbencher was running around the country, especially in the West, trying to convince people that Bill 10 was good for them.
Yeah, but let me...
Subjudice is what I think, and that's why I wrote a letter, to complain about the behavior of one individual who is a custodian. Mr. Given Lubinda, I wish he was here. He responded to say, my point of order, my letter of complaint was clumsy. I wish Mr. Lubinda was here so that he can see how clumsy we get. You can fool people sometimes, but you cannot fool the people all the time. The chickens have now come home to roost.
All right. Let me bring in Walia. And again, for our viewers, we did advertise and we did promise you that the Honorable Justice Minister will join us. He did agree to it, and we are hoping that with the time that is remaining, he would be able to come here and also be there to set the record straight, as it were. This is Blunt Talk, the fearless debate, stating it as it is right here on your multi-award-winning channel of choice. And at this point, we will also allow you to be part of the discourse. And if you are outside this country, it's +26097859468 That is our number. So we will get in your calls. But let me get back to the discussants here. I'll get to you, Chala. We learned a lot of interesting developments. Honorable Kombo has, with very, very careful guidelines, said there are certain matters that he wants to talk about how the House does proceed. But there are things that are just low. For example, that a point of order can't be raised on top of a point of order. That would turn Parliament upside down. But in this case, it became unprecedented. But he also raises another issue that is also quite interesting. He talks about Honorable Given Winda's continued attempt to talk about Bill 10 in other lights, and also Honorable Raphael Nakachinda's campaign around the country that has also been, associated with this issue of Bill 10. As a citizen, as an interested party, when you hear all this, what is your reaction? And your 3 minutes start now.
Look, Chatewa, I feel as a citizenry, we really ought to be very serious, because when we talk about Bill 10, Bill 10 really looks at changing or amending our constitution. Okay, so when we talk about Bill 10, it's talking about how we are going to be and how we're going to be governed as a people. So I would like to stress this point that our youth especially ought to take very keen interest in this entire thing. So now when you look at it from this aspect to say, and I am coming from Kawata, okay, I would have loved my own MP to come here and challenge me to say he went through Kawata, okay, and asked us to say, what is your feel as regards Bill 10? And I can challenge him, wherever he is, to say he had not, and he has never, not even a single time, come to us, the constituent people, to ask to say, what do you want? What do you think about Bill 10? He has never. And the entire time he has been...
That they have said, sorry for the interruption. The other thing they have said, they say Bill 10 will bring in proportional representation. Don't you want that?
Which proportional representation? Because he can't represent us in the first place. He's not representing anyone. He's representing himself. Come on, we have people from PF who are already saying, this MP from, name forgotten. But he went ahead and said, look, in as much as I may feel that Bill 10 is not the right thing for Zambians, I cannot go against what my party is saying. Okay, but what we ought to realize at all times is that, okay, you are a Zambian, whoever you are, okay, Garin Kombo, honorable, is a Zambian, and his allegiance is to Zambia before anything else. And I can challenge him, and I'm sure he's going to tell me that his allegiance is to Zambia. If his party today went against what he believes in and what he feels what ought to be right for Zambia, he's going to go away. And that is what we expect of Minister Given. And he has not done that. What we expect from our minister is that he ought to come to us and ask us, what do you think of Bill 10? And ask Idkawata, look, I'm coming from PF. I was in PF. And I'm going to tell Honorable Given Winda that he's not going to receive any vote. I ran a branch, a lot of branches. He's not going to get any vote from us.
Okay. This is not here. I love where this is going now.
Indeed.
Gary, when it gets to that, you normally talk about the house of the people. When it gets to that, you're seeing a young person that comes up and then he talks the manner that he does. You will make your comment on that. But the talk that went around was that in you, the honorable members of parliament that walked out of Bill 10, both the United Party for National Development and the independent members of parliament that decided to show solidarity with you guys, you were doing a disservice to electorates because the people didn't vote you to go to Manda Hill to walk out. You've heard that line. What is your honest response, Gary, to that?
You see, ignorance is not defense. We operate under the Commonwealth practice of Parliament. If you want me to explain, the former British protectorates, and colonies.
Bring our viewers to speed. What
Yeah.
you mean when you say we operate under the Commonwealth Order of Parliament? I do understand.
What
From the
that means,
protectorate, yes.
what that means, and if you recall, Mr. Tuchwangulube, he made a point of order on members of Parliament who were on that same particular select committee that was dealing with Bill 10, as to whether or not they were in order to walk out with the rest of the members when they were part of the committee.
Yeah.
Speaker Matibini's ruling was that they were perfectly in order. So that buries that argument so that we can talk about other things. A member of Parliament has got privileges to walk out as a registration of displeasure in the manner that either the executive, which was the case then, is conducting business, the arrogance of numbers, the issue about, this developing trend of, we walked out on certain ministers who we know are hell-bent tribalists. We agreed that we will not, even those who had framed questions for ministers who are tribalists, because tribalism is against our constitution. We agreed as a group that whoever has a question for Minister we shall forego this question because we will not engage with people who view people with their ethnic extraction. I didn't choose to be a Tonga, but I can tell you I'm a very proud one. I don't think you chose to be what you are. I don't think that my brother chose to be what he was. That was God's paradox. So it is perfectly normal to walk out. And you recall that one time we boycotted the presidential speech? Yes. And we all didn't go. We got punished. And even as I, who was a whip at that time, was being admonished by the speaker on behalf of the colleagues, I made an indication that we are challenging this decision through the court of law. And I'm sure you know, you do not need to be told that there was a judgment against Speaker Matibini on the case of Chishimba Kambwili and the declaration of that seat of Ron vacant. You know that. These are things that we must speak freely about, those of us who know our inherent right to expression. And I'm not insulting nobody. Go into the court annals, you'll find that Mr. Dr. Matibini had overstepped his authority to declare the seat vacant. And because of that, we found our situation where there was MP Kambwili and MP Chishala for the same constituency. Why? It's because every human being can falter. And by that judgment, I'm sure it created sufficient amber lights for us to learn that going into the future, you cannot do things to your whims of your own feelings.
All right, fantastic. We have a caller here. All right, the number is 0978594682, and if you're outside the country, it's +260978592. And we are asking the question: why is Bill 10 so controversial? We have a caller. Hi, good evening. You are through to Blanto.
Good evening, my brother. Thank you, Honorable Kombo and his colleagues.
Is this Wonkumbwa?
Kombo is my name from Western Province.
Nkumbwa from Western Province. Wonkumbwa, wachwa ni kwandu?
We get it in that we see fair hand.
Anyway, my brother, when I heard that you will be down going to be the part of it, but I almost made the challenge. I was not ready to listen to that. I think about enough of reception from PM. Thank God that Mr. Congo is there. I wish there was somebody else from PM, not you, somebody else. Some who respect people and these people. Probably best, much better. Now that is not there, he knows why they are chickened out. He knows that you have nothing to offer to the Zambians about Bill 10. About Bill 10, procedure has not been followed. You remember in Parliament one time, that member had to stop the speaker to allow the reading of the second reading of Bill 10. I hope so. Why? Because not Bill 10, but that other bill. The Electoral Commission and the Public Order, Bill 11 and Bill 9 and 11, sitting in Bill 10. So that member had to write that why should we write to this one, leaving out this one, which is the main one. That's what made the speaker now, you done. Let's take his mind. Okay? So trying to sensitize people to appreciate it. Yet they were claiming that they had made enough consultation. That's where the problem is. Not only that, so far, Mr. Kombo, I beg you.
Wonkumba, kindly wind up in the interest of time.
If there is a law that allows you members of parliament to move a motion to impeach the speaker, please go for it.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wonkumba, calling us from Western Province. 0978594682. All right, Gary, you wanna come in?
We are representatives of the people. So if Mr. Nkumbwa thinks that we should impeach the speaker, there's no harm. It's within the law. It's within the law. And so when citizens start speaking like that, don't forget, it was this MP who sought to impeach the president. All right? It's within the law. We saw how PF youngsters came like headless chickens to come and protest against me at Parliament. It is within the law. We are living in a state where the law has been relegated into the dustbin. Are you understanding? So we get the advice from Mr. Nkumbwa, and I'm also sure that because the Speaker is part of this country, he has heard that comment for himself. And we just need to get a few more people from Nkumbwa's like to invoke the process.
You are now through to Blantyre. Good evening. Very fine thing. Would you just kindly speak up, sir? Sydney? All right, try to call us again. 0967 59. Oh my good lord. 0978 59468. I almost gave out a number for yes, I almost gave out my wife's number already on TV. But I haven't stated that. Let's just see if we can have this one. Wiseman joins us now from Kabwe. Wiseman, good evening, sir. Very fine, thank you. Would you just kindly speak up a little bit? All right. Yes, your time starts now. Please go ahead. Please, just go ahead with your contribution.
Honorable Kombo, I think as for me as well as from Zimbabwe, I'm headed through Mr. Nkumbwa's statement. I think I tried that your presentation as a speaker, like seriously. I think that one we need it from you. And why Britain is controversial? The answer is very simple. There are some hidden agenda which this government is pursuing for them to achieve. So for us, I think the citizens, they don't want the paper is so if you claim of a good thing, I think there have been asked people who have been clients for it to down. But ever since we don't even need it, we have never even spoken about it. As we thought it has gone for good, but there's a private impact. So for me, we don't need it. Sagari Kombo, do that on our behalf.
All right, thank you very much. He seconds the. I know the volume could have been lower. He's saying he's seconding what Nkumbwa from Senanga said that if there is constitutional provision to move a motion to impeach the speaker, please invoke that provision. All right, one more caller. Just in the interest of time, just one more caller. You are now through to Blantyre. Good evening. Bwino mwacho mapanja wapozi.
Bwino gari Kombo mwacho mapanja MP. Bwino mwacho mapanja Vashala.
Bwino wali bwanji.
Niwapila nduba kusonanga mo.
Mwilila nduba.
Kusonanga.
Okay, your 1 minute starts now, boss.
If it was possible, could the difference happen from a citizen? Or my also to avoid that Matibin Africa he's not doing it. He's just interested in not biting the finger which fits him, and that has come out openly. You see, speaker anything constitution just to preserve the continue people kuzuri member.
Sorry. I have to do this. It's just at time and city, but thank you for coming through, and we honestly do value your contribution.
It's very painful. Too much.
Okay. All right. My lord. It's too much for a Monday, isn't it? But broadcasting is a time-bound activity, and gentlemen, we have to do our bye-byes. And I'll start in this order. I'll start with you, Shala. You've heard what the viewers have said and their contributions. In a minute, what is your takeaway?
Yeah, I think it was a deliberate move, because if it were ZNBC, he would have gone, because I feel, and I'm going to say it as I feel, because I'm a youth and I feel it is high time Zambian youth became more brave and bold about everything, to say the only reason he's not here is because he could not answer straight questions that are open. But that said, I want to say this, that the Bill 10 as a bill that is aimed at changing our constitution is not what we need at the moment. We do not have a constitutional crisis. What we have is a crisis in the economy. And the economy was bad even before COVID. Okay? So at the end of the day, I urge my youth, my fellow youth, to look and take keen interest in reading a lot of these things, especially when it comes to governance issues. Okay? So when you read, you get to understand, to say Bill 10 is just but a tool by PF to continue wamu ya.
All right.
Okay?
Your 2 minutes are up.
Yes, fast.
Yeah, that's what it feels like on Blanto. Let me bring in Honorable Nkombo. Gary, your 2 minutes start now. You've heard the callers.
Well,
I wish I could read you. Right now we are sitting at 1,500 viewers with an excess of 700 live comments on Facebook.
I'll check them out. But to respond and in closing, I would like to say that the call to impeach the Speaker is not strange, at least to me. I want you to know that PF has put this country in harm's way. They have broken democratic institutions. Parliament is not the only institution that looks broken. The police is broken. I'm sure you learned, because this is a news powerhouse, you learned how the police were going to escort PF cadres to come to the UPND Secretariat this afternoon to come and present a petition to ask UPND members to vote for Bill 10. What kind of desperation is that? The pillars of democracy, the PF have shattered them completely. Go to ECZ, you find the situation is the same. So we started with Parliament, we are now with the police, go to DPP, go to certain courts, judiciary. They don't respect the judiciary anymore. You know the issue of sub judice, a matter that is under judicial consideration. It's said that you cannot touch it until that matter is determined. Today we are dealing with Bill 10. I'm told they're bringing it tomorrow. And yet Deepak Patel has a matter in court. The issue, you recall how the issue of the removal, and I'm not shy to go behind, because it's only the past that teaches us how to deal with the present and how we walk into the future. The issue of the removal of the immunity for Dr. Rupia Bwezani-Banda. Mr. Sakwiba Scotta went to court. I'm just finishing now, please allow, so that the Zambians can understand how PF has mutilated the law with impunity. Mr. Sakwiba Scotta went to court to try and stop the the removal of immunity of Rupia Bwezani-Banda. The birds started flying backwards. And we were told Parliament has got its own unique powers. They can go ahead and deal with the issue of the removal of the immunity. Okay. It happened under PF.
All right.
Zambian youths must wake up.
Gary, I promise broadcasting is such
I
a
understand.
time-bound
I
activity,
understand.
and I have to say a
I
very
understand.
big
Thank you for everyone who joined us this evening.
Yeah.
Thank you very
And
much.
we
promise
still have-
as
we still have-
UPND
we still
to
have our-
respect,
yes.
respect the country. As
we-
UPND, we promise we will respect you all. Baby, adolescent, youth, adult, we will give you utmost respect.
All right,
and
fantastic.
Not the way PF is behaving.
Fantastic. So do join us again on Wednesday for yet another episode of this, your fearless debate. It's Blunt Talk, stating it as it is. On behalf of Sidlis Conjera, who has been my director and co-producer for this particular production, and the hard-working Blunt Talk crew, Obvious, Bright, thank you so very much. Until when we're back again, my name is Chatewa. Ambia Kudaliseni. Pleasant viewing.
Yeah. Give us. This is Zambia, the home of copper.
Hello, we're going to win the fight against the coronavirus. But to do that, we need to follow these